will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
You get nothing! You lose! Good day, sir!
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
You want some? Yes. I knew you'd go. Hey, Mom! The meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
She's the food and entertainment director on her family farm. It's Carolyn Sheridan from the Ag Health and Safety Alliance. Time once again to see what we can do to help our family farmers.
So excited about today's show.
So more excited than usual. Good morning, Al.
Good morning, Carolyn Sheridan. She put the BS in BSN. Yeah, even more than normal.
But
because I think
I have something. I have something to say first.
Okay, go ahead.
First, yeah. So you have this little ditty when I come on. You know, the food and entertainment director who put the BS, whatever.
That's what we call it. A little ditty.
I did.
Can we get another little ditty made? Yes, we'll get another ditty made.
Is it a ditty? Hey, during harvest, I made a reel, and I did it kind of because of what you say about me, food and entertainment. But
I enjoyed that one very much, by the way.
What, that little reel?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said I added things because it's true. Food, entertainment, safety, finance, and the pets.
And the pets. And your big thing that day was keeping the dogs out of the way, which it seemed like close the kitchen door, leave them inside, you're good. No, I don't think that was an all-day deal, to be honest.
But my daughter and son-in-law were helping too, and so their dog was over. And so we had our dogs and their dog.
How many dogs do you have?
We have two big labs.
And then they have one, so it's a total of 3 dogs.
3 dogs, and it
takes a day to take care of them. You can't put them someplace in a fence, in a garage, in the house, and close the door.
Well, I don't. I take my jobs very seriously. Anyway,
except time management, which you could have put them in there and been done. That's all.
No, I don't think it was quite that way. But the point was, everybody was clearly harvesting. They were going down the lane. One was in the tractor, and one was in the combine, and I was at the house doing all those things. And that's my point. But, okay, why were you so excited about today?
Well, because, and I don't remember why. Maybe I just, when this played in my market, I happened to be driving, and there was the Carolyn Sheridan Ag Health and Safety Alliance bit with Al, and I'm listening to myself. And I got to be honest, there were 3, possibly 4 unbelievable million ideas that we blew out last week.
Right. Yes.
And I thought to myself, that's what real radio is all about right there, giving these farmers this additional information that could really help them out, on the lean years. I was really happy with it, and I go, I can't wait till next week. Let's see what we're going to talk about. And you came up with a snooze fest. Sorry about that. I know I'm really excited about
the 3rd R. So last week we ended with, we had the 2 R's. It was, what was it, Al? I had to remind you.
Road safety and
respirators.
Respirators. I would say ribs. I don't remember.
So I was adding a 3rd R this week. It was it's the rest part of it, because we're moving along in harvest now, and I can tell you there's not a lot of rest happening. Sometimes we got people.
This isn't true.
Yeah.
This isn't true. But I'll tell you something. First off, the respirator deal. I lived my own harvest season yesterday.
Oh, what did you do?
Well, it ended up being a really nice day, and I had gotten most of my work done, ran to the house, and said, you know what? I'm going to mulch these leaves, which is very much like harvesting corn. So I get the lawnmower out, and I started going back.
Do you sell it when you're done?
No, I just get it out of my yard. But I'm going back and forth, and the dust is kicking up. The yard looks like $1 million. I walk in, and I have to find the allergy medicine. It was like, holy Hannah, I cannot breathe. The amount of... And then take a shower and rinse your... And I was like, you got to be kidding me. No, that's when I thought about you. I was like, this would have been a respirator time. This would
have been a good time to have a respirator. That's right.
Yeah, so the R came into my... No, you got some in here. I never use all that stuff you send me.
That's the deal. That's part of the deal. We got to get people to use the stuff. So, Al,
you do.
If you would come on the show and say, now, I use my respirator even when I mulch my leaves to prevent
that would have been good.
Long-term impacts. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been good, because I know I have oak leaves munched up inside my lungs today. I know that for a fact. Now, this rest thing, I'm going to get on you about the rest thing, because this also came up. This is why I'm so tight with the farmers, because I'm living their farm life. I'm here. So I'm driving back from the golf course yesterday. Day for yesterday? Wednesday?
Good day for golfing, but it was a little windy.
Yeah, but we put up with that. We don't complain, we golfers. But I'm driving by the elevator, and they're massive amount of corn. They got the hockey rink set up, and they're piling the corn up really high like a teepee. And there must be 15 trailer trucks, right, all lined up to get in. And this is what I noticed. That's why I'm so glad we're talking about sleep deprivation. Old farmers, guys my age, roughly my age, you drive by, they're taking a little nap. Take a little siesta. They're sitting there. Then you see these young bucks that were asked to drive over there. They're on their phone doing something. They're like this. I'm like, why are you not taking this sleep deprivation? You get sleep deprivation because you don't sleep. Smart farmers, guys like Al, I got 15, 20 minutes. I'm taking a nap here in this cab.
So it's little cat naps. And I'm gonna kind of wrap my dad out a little bit. My dad used to do his cat naps in church. He was like, Mama Tate, you were sleeping. Happy. He goes, no, I was resting my eyes. I was listening. I'm like, so that sort of thing. But we are going to talk about rest, the third R today a little bit. And I am going to do a shout out. And I'm going to admit my ignorance here for just a second.
What? That's my job.
Well, I know you tell me all the time. But it's called a Minnesota News or Minnesota Ag.
Minnesota Ag. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was, you kind of research like where's the new information about sleep deprivation or farmers stay sharp, whatever with rest. And a great little article came up, and it's on Minnesota Ag.
No idea.
And honest to God, I had not heard of it. They have a lot of great news, and they had a really good little short article. That's all we want, short to the point, on the 25th of September, which is really good. And it just said farmers stay sharp with restful sleep habits. And they've got some really good points that we're going to talk about today. So I'm stealing a couple points from them. But so I'm going to
let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I try very hard to keep it simple on this program. And I love I love my farmers. I love my farmers. Yeah. Good. Yeah. This is an inbred thing, kind of like, how we came out of the marsh and we just kind of grew into human beings. This is inbred in farmers. And what I mean by that is, okay, so you put the corn out there, right? You go plant it, and it takes you, once you get planting, they got to put it in 2.5 days. Got to get everything done in 2.5 days. And I said to myself, what if you didn't stay up all night long planting this stuff, and it took you 2 weeks to put it in? Let's just imagine, if you will. You went from 8 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, 8 in the morning, got her all done, right? Okay, imagine this. Now you're not sleep deprived because you got home at 5 o'clock, got to kiss the wife, have a little dinner, maybe watch a little Wheel of Fortune, take a nap, go to bed, but it's 8 to 5. Now what happens? We get to fall. And the stuff you planned the first day compared to the 14th day, that stuff's done. So you go out for an 8-hour day and you pick that corn. Go to bed, get some sleep, watch a little Wheel of Fortune, get up the next day and do the next. And 14 days later, you're all done because all the corn is 1 day behind the next. Guess what happens? You're not sleep deprived. This is self-inflicted. The other day, I'm driving back from whatever, the Twin Cities, and whatever time it was, and we're coming over the hill, and I must have found 6 farmers off in the hill at like 11 o'clock at night with a big high beam on out there. I was like, what are you doing? Go to bed, do it in the morning. The corn's still going to be there.
Well, let's start with one thing. So we're small farmers, so and people will relate to this. But we had rain or something while we were planting. So one field is planted several days earlier than the other field. But when we went to harvest, it was already at the same time. There was no difference. There wasn't, as you are predicting, where one is right now. There's early corn, late corn, whatever. So you can plant different varieties, but you also can plant at different times. But that doesn't mean they're not going to get ready at the same time. Same with our beans. We didn't get both fields planted at the same time, but I can tell you they were ready and they were dry. The beans were dry, and so after they dry down so much, then you're losing yield. So there's a reason why people kind of get in a rush, because you're
time management. You cannot tell me corn that's picked all in 2 days, or if it was picked in 5. Oh, there's the whole difference in the world. I don't believe that, but this is because these farmers were bred this way. Get her in, get her done. That's what I do, and I do it well. That's what they do.
I think sometimes when you have these really phenomenal Al Travis ideas, it's too bad we don't have our farmers listening in and giving you the business instead of just me.
Well, we're going to find. No, we'll find out. This is true story. I'm big with the Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial farmers over there. True story. My kid's he football coaches over there, and some guy walks up and says, "Is your old man Al?"
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. Why? He thinks he's in trouble, right? And he goes, "Yeah, I listened to him. He talked about your new football coach. I knew it was you. You tell him we listened in the tractor." I'm big with the Lake Crystal Farmer guys. You know why? Because they're big men, they're proud men, and they're okay to be hearing the truth. And Al throws the truth out.
Do they invite you to coffee?
No, not yet. I don't think we're that tight.
Oh, there you go. There. You get invited to coffee.
When do they have time for coffee? They're so busy.
They have time. Yeah. Hey, when we come, we must have to take a break.
We do have to take a break.
We're going to talk about just a couple things about rest for the third R's in farming.
And for my Lake Crystal Welcome Memorial Farmer buddies, what that means is when she says we're going to break, I'm going to push a button, and then she's going to spend time giving me the evil eye and tell me how wrong I am to go after these farmers. That's what we do during the breaks. Back after this.
We do.
Think about it. A famous politician once said, "You're entitled to your opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts." But in a world full of AI and fake news, where can Minnesotans find the facts? Center of the American Experiment is Minnesota's go-to source for fact-based analysis and common sense solutions for taxes, energy, public safety, and our kids' education. Visit AmericanExperiment.org for more information. Think About It is brought to you by Center of the American Experiment, Minnesota's think tank.
You know that car sound that sounds like a cricket playing a banjo? Jays can fix that. You know when you step on the brakes and your car sounds like a pair of tennis shoes in the dryer? Paul is the guy who specializes in that. And you know that sound that never happens when the mechanic's around? Paul took a whole course on that. If you own a car, you need to know Paul. Paul owns Jay's Auto Shop, 202 North Main Street, Blue Earth, 525-1052, 525-1052.
Are you kidding me?
You know that comment you said to the radio? The thing that we got wrong?
Clearly, Brussels sprouts are the worst vegetable.
Call us and let the world know your thoughts. 855-257-7469. That's 855-ALS SHOW.
We've got a Carolyn Sheridan's Ag Health and Safety Alliance talking about sleep deprivation. Before we go on, I should mention my Blue Earth Farm peeps. Most of them usher at my church, so I know they listen and that sort of thing. Good guys. But no, they have not offered me coffee either, so we can move on.
Okay, all right, but we have to work on that. So we talk. It sounds like maybe you're just missing sleep every night for a little bit, like 30 minutes of sleep, missing 30 minutes of sleep a night doesn't sound like much, but it's that whole, when you add it up, it really does, particularly over several weeks. And harvest is, you know, it's really not a race. It's kind of a marathon. It really is for a lot of people that are spending time, and particularly we have livestock producers as well. And so trying to find ways to how do we maybe even pass off some of our other work. I can remember that even when I was growing up, that was a thing. You know, we were in charge of the chores and stuff because Dad was in the field. But so we just need to figure out what are some ways that we can try to get at least a decent amount of sleep. And every place I read, everything you read does say about the cat naps, Al. Get 20 minutes, not more than 20 minutes. You know, that kind of gets kind of.
See, but I don't get that. And I have friends that'll tell you if I get a 20-minute nap, you know, I'm refreshed and rolling.
Me too.
I'm a 90-minute guy. If I'm going to lay down my head 90 minutes, then I'm back to no way. See, that doesn't mean no good. I just get tired then. Really?
Oh no! Right. If I do 90 minutes, then I feel like really awful. But and it is a problem because we are operating big equipment. We're on the roadways. We just talked about that last week, and so we need to be alert. We need to be able to make decisions. Our reaction time needs to be good. And if you haven't had any sleep, if you've been awake for up to 15 to 20 hours. It definitely that there's some problems that can happen with your reaction time. You're at higher risk of incidents, accidents, injuries. So it's a big deal right now. You don't want to meet anybody on the road that hasn't had sleep for 20 to 30 hours.
At your age or my age or older, it was the coffee. It was coffee, right? A guy would just have his thermos and try to keep going. But you teach all these young kids, right? You're talking to kids. You're talking to the folks in college and that sort of thing all the time.
They got their
whatever the Red Bully thing, the energy drinks.
Oh yeah.
Do you look into that stuff? The amount of caffeine in that. I mean, it's amazing that whole generation doesn't just have heart attacks.
Yeah, I think and we could have a whole 2 or 3 shows on that about how that impacts heart rate. It impacts all kinds of things, and so we're not promoting that either.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it's just different now. These kids use that stuff, which is much harsher than a cup of coffee if you're trying to stay away. Right,
and Al's a Mountain Dew guy. But
Diet Dew, please. I'm a very large man.
big Mountain Dew. But you're not drinking that like a few hours before you try to go to sleep, right?
Oh, no. That gets me through the show. It's my cup of coffee in the morning. I swore when I started getting into radio like 30 years ago, the thing was radio guys were having just massive amounts of cups of coffee. I know one guy who quit because they're going to make him pay for his own coffee. I'm not doing that here. It's like, you think people owe you? I wasn't going to be that radio guy, so I just had pop. So and I just have something cooler than coffee. I don't even drink coffee. Don't like it.
Well, and then we move into so if we're trying to stay awake, so we're drinking coffee or maybe we're doing the energy drinks or the Mountain Dew, and then you actually are done. You're going to go try to sleep, but now we've all caffeined up. So, and then we don't always know when is it that we're going to sleep. So if we can just at least. We're trying to tell people don't have caffeine after 2 p.m., but I'm telling you that's not happening.
I know.
But we need to at least consider it. And all this establishing regular bedtimes, that all goes out the window during harvest. But I take that as my personal.
I was going to say, for the person in charge of health and safety on the farm, whoever that might be, should be making a kind of a map on that and say, hey, Bobby, you're short some sleep. Let's get some time in here. Work it in.
Right. Something like we can certainly, aside from the grumpiness that when people get short on sleep, they get a little crabby or grumpy, but there's some other telltale signs as well that your person, make sure a person is kind of looking out for you. And we do have all this GPS and stuff, but that doesn't mean that you can sleep while you're combining or things like that. So it's a thing. So just a good reminder to try to get some rest. Grab that 20-minute nap if you can.
Maybe another $1 billion idea just came to me.
What was that? Billion? Not even $1 million?
No, this should be there'd be a lot of money into this. So, the rumble strips on the side of the road, the little rumble, you get to the side and I consider those alarm clocks. It's because when you're driving like on 35 and you never turn the steering wheel and it's late at night, it's like, it'll wake me up. Oh, I'm awake.
Yep.
You should put those out on the fields, out on the sides of the field. So if a farmer falls asleep, he wakes up. Oh, it may not be the straightest row I ever made, but at least, I saved myself from driving in the ditch.
I wonder how big a rumble strips you would need if you had these great big tires.
I know, but wouldn't it be fun to see? That's what I'm saying. But hey, if it saved one farmer's life, Isn't it worth it?
Well, I tell you what, we're trying to save farmers all the time, and
So
we're
that
in
could
the
be a
3
great
R's. You know, it was respirators, roadway safety, and now it's rest. Got to get
And
some rest.
I would notice that you did not grab a pen to write that idea down. Are you just because it's so good you know you remember it? I'm throwing out ideas like this, just trying. Okay,
my tablet. I do. I have I'm like one of those old-fashioned spiral tablets. It says Al's $1 Million Ideas.
You didn't use it last week or this week, so I know you're lying to me. I gotta fly.
You have to have some responsibility. Write your own ideas down.
I do not have time for what all's flying through this little mind of mine. Gotta fly. We're out of time. Carolyn Sheridan's Ag Health and Safety Alliance. Look them up. aghealthandsafety.com.
Tired of one-sided media and divisive noise drowning out